verse 30, Ulladhu Naarpadhu Anubandam, supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. சேய்மை உளம் சென்று கதை கேட்பார் போல் வாதனைகள் தேய்மனம் செய்தும் செய்யாதே அவைகள் தோய்மனம் செய்தின்றேனும் செய்ததே இங்கு அசைவு அற்றும் கனவில் குன்றேறி வீழ்வார் குழி. This verse talks about the destruction of vasanas, for liberation, for jnanam, for the destruction of the process of birth and rebirth. What is crucial is destruction of vasanas, what is called vasanakshayam. In this verse he says, when we are sitting and listening to a discourse, sometimes our mind would travel to America and it will imagine a conversation with our friend, or it will go to Japan, or it will go to Australia or some other country, or to a local friend's house. The mind can travel freely. But whereas we'll be sitting in a spiritual discourse, the same way he says, the way the mind goes out, listens to stories outside, if your vasanas are fairly destroyed, almost destroyed, even if you are doing things, even if you have done things in the world, it's as good as not having done. But if vasanas are not attenuated, if they are not thinned out, if they are still strong, even if you have not done things, he says it is equal to having done things. How and why? And he says, if vasanas are not destroyed, it's as if a person were sleeping on his bed, but in his dream he walks up to the rooftop, walks up to the top of the mountain, and then from there he falls into the abyss, into the pit. So it is an indication of the truth that vasanas are nothing but accumulated desires, the record of our desires, our commitments, our possessive instinct. These are the vasanas. If they are very strong, there is no way we can get jnanam or liberation. Liberation is all about giving up. When we work to attain jnanam, we are not going to create jnanam. Jnanam is what? The self. The self is formless, infinite, unshaking, unmoving, all-pervading, and it powers the entire universe, but yet it remains untouched. It remains still. Whereas what is born out of the power of Maya, Brahman's power of Maya, is the universe which always moves about, which always changes. Anything in the universe is born, it remains for some time and then is destroyed. Whereas the cause of that, Atma, Brahman, is never born, never dies, never changes, never waxes, never wanes, no growing big, no transforming, nothing. It remains still. So all our effort is to remember the truth that Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, there is one ultimate truth that we are, they are saying. Rishis have said Tattvamasi, which means you are formless, infinite Brahman. Whereas in our everyday experience, we experience ourselves as this body and the mind which undergoes the three states of experience: waking, dreaming and sleeping. So we are found in that loop, endless loop. Bhagavan says, Tannai marandu tanave tanai enni ennil piravi eduthu, having forgotten our true nature, thinking that we are the body, we have taken n number of births, he says. Tirumular also says in that song that Pullagi Pudai. I think it almost describes the evolutionary process that Darwin has described. That from the one cell amoeba to the human being, we have evolved, crossing different stages, crossing the stages of a monkey, all that. Starting from a worm to trees, plants, stones, and then the lesser order of beings, reptiles, etc., and then the monkey stage, and then human being. That's what science says. Tirumular also has said something similar. But what underlies the process is the power of Brahman. That is what rishis who have realized the truth, are saying. So, for jnanam, if you want to attain jnanam, realization, affirming the truth is more important than discarding the opposites, negatives, the non-self. Because we remained ignorant that we are Brahman, Atman, formless, infinite. In all our previous births, we must have been living under this assumption or under this strong belief that we are the body. And that has paved the way for birth to birth, birth to birth. Because unless knowledge comes, it will not destroy the ignorance. That's what they are saying again and again in Advaita Vedanta. Knowledge of what? Of the truth, that we are Brahman. We are never born. That Atma we are. That Brahman we are. We are never born. We are never destroyed. And as Brahman, we have never taken birth. And even now, Bhagavan would ask, see whether you are already born. A few people used to ask this question to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, what about the previous births? Bhagavan would stop them and then say, first find out if you are born. Which means he is referring to Brahman as his true nature. He knows experientially that he is Brahman. And he says that is what you are too. The problem is we have forgotten. We are identified with the body. If we are identified with the body continuously, we will be born again and again and again. There is no more danger, and there is no bigger danger than this either. Being born again and again, getting caught in the wheel of samsara, what is called worldly life. And worldly life is defined as misery. You might have your mathematics, 10 happiness experiences, 10 misery experiences. But Advaita says misery always dominates. Bhagavan says being born itself is a mistake. Having taken birth is itself a mistake. Agilamam yonigilum aruyir yavirkum, he says, whichever womb you are born into, misery will be the result. It will sound pessimistic until we realize the truth that you are fundamentally Brahman and your real nature is bliss, absolute bliss. Without having any contact with any material object in the universe, we can be in a state of bliss all the time. And this bliss results from continuous inquiry. Who am I? Whenever thought arises, we need to inquire, to whom is this thought? To me. Who is that me? Who is that I? Somewhere all the memories are stored within us. Something is, making that memory surface again and again to our awareness. We are already reduced. The awareness of experiences and memories, come to the already reduced consciousness that we are, Chidabhasan. Because of the Chit Jada Granthi, the tie between the body and the self, we are already in a reduced state. So, unless we put in effort, inquire as to where the memories are stored, where thoughts are stored, who is turning up these thoughts to our awareness, and if you locate the place where thoughts arise, Bhagavan says, thoughts will subside, your real nature will start shining forth. And continuous effort is needed. It is not just, the snap of a finger we can attain jnana. It's a continuous process. In Bhagavan's writings, in many places he said, do it permanently. Do it, without break. Such words occur in many places. Nirandaramaga ninai. Think of that Brahman constantly with self-inquiry, but he says everything will come right in the end. Bhagavan says, you might struggle, you might give up hope. Oh, when will I attain jnanam? Is it it's a real process? Is it at all going to happen? Can I be sure about it? Such doubts are apt to occur, but nothing to worry. Bhagavan has given an assurance, everything will come right in the end. So without giving up, again and again constantly reminding ourselves that we are fundamentally Brahman. Nobody has to grant it. We are already Brahman. If we go on reminding ourselves about this fact that we are Brahman, and if we continue Vicharam, soon or a little late, we will know that we are Brahman. We have nothing to do with I thought, we have nothing to do with memories, we have nothing to do with the body, we have nothing to do with the universe. He says, Endurvan Deham Ilanahave Tannitan Yanakaninal Tanganban. A day will come when you will see that you are not the body. And Prabanjam illon non pin. I have no universe at all. Then what is in Jnani's experience? Oneness, one Brahman, one self, which appears through its power as the entire universe. And in the universe there are several things, and one such thing is your body and this body. It is possible. It is like, a flip. He says, Nilalpadi Tagattin Vinmani Olipada Nilalpadi Yumo. He describes the state of Jnanam. If you expose a camera in twilight, not fully exposing to the sun, if you expose it to objects, the images will get registered in that plate, chemical plate. But if you expose the camera directly to the full bright sunlight, no image will be formed, only blank. That is the state of Jnanam, Bhagavan says. If you are in Jnanam, you are in experience of that oneness. One only exists, which appears as all things and beings in the universe, yet remains untouched. That untouched Asanga we are. We will know that by experience. For that, we need to destroy our vasanas slowly. Supposing you carry about 300 items in a suitcase, throw away one by one. Reduce it to 200, 100, 50, 25. This way, if you go on reducing our vasanas, our desires, our worldly, possessive instinct, etc., slowly, when it substantially reduces, we will realize that we are Brahman. And memories will continue in a subdued form till the body lifts. Jnanam, or our realization, will be like the bright sun of the daytime, and our vasanas and our ego will be like the powerless light of the moon. So, சேமை உளம் சென்று கதை கேட்பார் போல் வாதனைகள் செய்மனம் தேய்மனம் செய்தும் செய்யாதே அவைகள் தோய்மனம் செய்தின்றும் செய்ததே இங்கு அசைவு அற்றும் கனவில் குன்றேறி வீழ்வார் குழி. When we sit in a discourse, religious discourse, sometimes our mind goes out and it imagines a conversation with a friend in America the same way. If our vasanas are fairly diminished, even if we do things, we have done things in the world, it is as good as not having done. But if vasanas are strong, even if we have not done, it is as good as having done. We will be subject to the process of that karma. Like how, when we are on the bed and we dream, we are lying on the bed, but in the dream we have a dream that we are walking up to the mountain top and falling from there into the abyss. It's as good as that. So it gives a warning. Work on your vasanas. How will you work on your vasanas? Work on the truth. Think about the truth that you are Brahman, I am Brahman. Everything is Brahman. There is only one Brahman. Epodumulladhu avekanma vastuve. Bhagavan said, what always exists, ever exists, is that only one Brahman.